What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's dive straight into things. Hopefully you've watched yesterday's video. If not, do go check it out, and you'll see that we are starting on the daily, and you can see how Monday gave us very large expansion on dollar towards our consequent encroachment weekly wick, which is what I drew our attention to yesterday. Now, I wasn't anticipating us to trade up here so quick, but I did mention in yesterday's video that if we see price moving fast and in a rush to get somewhere, then it's likely that moving into Wednesday or Thursday, when we have high impact news for the week with PPI, etc., that we can anticipate some kind of reversal. So this hasn't completely blown me away, but it's just an example again of fast movement, beginning of the week, ran out buy stops, and we're trading right into that consequent encroachment. So moving into tomorrow, what am I anticipating? Well, I want to see a continuation, moving to actually trade to it. We haven't actually touched it yet. And then I do believe this is a 4-hour fair value gap, I believe. Yeah, 4-hour fair value gap right here, which we haven't yet traded into. So it'd be nice to see if moving into tomorrow, price can run that Monday high, tap into that consequent encroachment, and then maybe we can start looking for potential reversals and such, and then we can start thinking about the discount, etc. But other than that, very beautiful day. This is the buy side liquidity I spoke about, and you can see our price completely eradicated that quite nicely, and it's just been crawling up onwards since. So let's go down to the 1 hour, take a closer look, and you'll see we're in quite a bit of a consolidation after the large expansion we had at 3 a.m. Price is stacking on top of the bullish order blocks, so as far as I'm concerned, we are still remaining bullish. But my point is, once we hit that consequent encroachment, I'll be waiting. Excuse me. And then so basically I'm just looking to see if these highs can get ran and then us potentially pull back. But there's no reason for us to turn bearish. My bias still remains the same, and as you can see, there's this large imbalance on the 4 hour anyway to be filled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the daily dividers up like so. So we have Monday opening there, we have the Sunday opening right here, we have Tuesday here, and like so. So basically tomorrow I'm just looking to see if that Monday high can get ran, and if we can start to try and fill this imbalance and get inside of there. Let's go to the 15-minute, take a closer look. You can see again, kind of in a consolidation between this low and now this high. I am looking at these bullish order blocks, all of these down close candles, and mainly this range right here. I'll show you the high of it. I'm looking for price basically to be able to maintain the support it's finding at that level. So I'm going to draw this right into the new day, and then I'm also going to draw the low right here. That will give us a range as to where I'm happy for price to dip into. However, ideally we stay above it until we've finished doing what we need to do in terms of this premium imbalance. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split this range up into quarters. Well, not even into quarters. Yeah, into quarters. And then tomorrow we should be able to identify and see what levels within this price is respecting, which should be quite interesting to look into. So let's just clear this up a little bit. I don't want it to be too confusing. So ideally, again, the lowest I'd want to see price trade would be the 25% level, with the idea that price is going to continue to attempt to try and fill this imbalance as we move into Tuesday. 50% level at the very, very most, but 25% level is much more ideal, and then obviously not at all would be even more ideal, but I doubt that's going to be the case. And if we do run this 50% level, so if we find that price drops below it tomorrow, then I probably won't want to see price fill this imbalance anymore, and I'll start looking for these lows to get taken below here, and I'll start looking at this imbalance as an alternative. But until that happens, so long as we stay above here, I'm happy to remain with my bias from yesterday that price should be able to continue to push up into this range. So yeah, that's going to be everything for now. Hope that all makes sense. I'm going to drag this level through. Let's make this a different color. Let's make this blue, a nice light blue, and then ideally again we might see that low get created maybe around London session or something that can then help us push on higher. But again, 50% level, this is the lowest I want to see price trade. Any lower than that I'm getting out, or I'd be reversing my bias. So that's going to be everything on dollar. I hope that all makes sense. Let's move on to GBP USD. Beautiful delivery on GBP today, and we came right down into our sell side liquidity target, and look at this, came and filled the fair value gap to the T, and now price is just playing around in that range. So let's go to the daily and take a closer look, and you can see that large expansion to the downside. You can see our price failed to trade up into any kind of premium. We opened and dropped, taking out that sell side liquidity just as anticipated below the relative equal lows, and trading into that fair value gap just as anticipated, trading into this range. Now, one thing to take note of is, although we've traded down here, as you know, on dollar, if we're expecting a continuation to the upside, there's very much potential for price on pound to continue to the downside. And here, these two down close candles technically make a bullish order block. So if we look at this range from this low up, that means that this opening price should be very sensitive. So I'm looking for price to tap into that at the same time that dollar trades up into its premium, which is what I was anticipating. So I'm going to get rid of a few things for now. Don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore. And right now, my eyes are pretty much set on this inversion fair value gap that we have going on right here. So there's a range here. Now that we've traded through on the downside on it, that would be the very highest I'd want to see price trade moving into tomorrow, with the anticipation to trade lower and maybe hit that bullish order block. Let's go to the 4 hour. And again, you can see our price is playing around there, but we might get a little bit of consolidation. But overall, I want to see price roll over, fill the fair value gap that I was talking about, and start trading into the bullish order block from the daily, which I spoke about. Furthermore, there is lows below here as a potential draw for sell side liquidity and sell stops. So let's just get that delineated. So we are going to go to the 1 hour, and you can see again price is very much range bound right now. We do again have another inversion fair value gap that we may be able to use to our advantage right here. And the reason this is significant is because we've seen delivery on the upside, downside, close quite nicely, tapping into it here. So I'll be paying close attention to this moving into Tuesday, as that might be where a setup may form, maybe during the London session. So to help us with this, let's go on to the let's get the daily dividers marked out. We also have high impact news on pound with an unemployment rate at 2 a.m. So around 1:30, I'll be looking for a setup to form ideally, with the expectation of an expansion. But the way that we've ran out these highs, so you see this high right here, the way that we've run it out here, ideally price shouldn't need to run these stops again. That would be ideal. And then we'll go to the Sunday opening, which is right here. But overall on Tuesday, again, as I was saying, I'm looking to see if we can get down into the deep end, into that bullish order block from the daily. That would be ideal. Let's go to the 15 minutes, take a closer look. Again, a little bit of consolidation. This is the highest I want to see price trade. Don't get me wrong, it can go higher, guys. It's not like I'm saying this is the forever and always. Like, there's obviously the ability for it to trade above it, and if it does so be it. But this would be a stretch for me. This would be ideal for me, and then if it doesn't touch it at all, then it should be pretty nice and easy to see price roll over, take out that Monday low, and trade into our ideal bullish order block. And don't get me wrong, we may even run that. So if price starts digging deeper into it, and we are much more bearish than I anticipate, then I'll start looking at these points. So I'll start looking at around here, and I'll start looking around here. But we can talk more on that tomorrow. But basically, this range right here, let's just highlight that. Because these are points of distribution here, and you can see on this side point of accumulation, that means that there's potential for price to want to tap into these ranges. So we'll see how price obviously moves tomorrow, moving into Wednesday, but these may become more significant. But overall, yeah, you get the point. You know my bias and what I'd like to see happen. And if we looked more closely at the price action that we have here, we do have displacement. We've got a high, we got a low, we've got a higher high, we've got displacement, we've got a trade back up into the breaker, last down close candle, and then we've got a continuation. Next point of the accumulation here, again, we're playing around here, and we're seeing a little bit of consolidation just before the Asian session. So for the Asia session, I'm going to allow price to rally, but then ideally I'd like to think that price will be able to continue, fill the fair value gap nicely, take out that Monday low, and get to our bullish order block from the daily. So we're going to finish up on Euro USD. Hope that will make sense. And again, beautiful delivery again. Make sure to watch yesterday's video if you haven't, guys, and smash the like button. But price failed to trade up into any kind of premium. And yesterday I explained very clearly as to why my bias was bearish and why I was expecting this expansion to the downside. I was talking about breaking market structure, but again, go watch yesterday's video for more context. And you can see our price came right down and stopped right in its tracks, and look where it stopped, at our weekly consequent encroachment. So there's a reason I'm drawing these PD arrays to our attention, guys, because price does use them. Otherwise, why did it stop here? You know, why is it leaving this much gap? And look at how quick price managed to move towards it as well. So Just something to take into consideration, this is also lined up with a bullish order block. These two down close candles are bullish order blocks, and this lines up pretty much with the open. So this is still a significant price level. I'm going to make it a line just because I do believe that price may want to tap into it. As in, it may be sensitive to price, and I'm happy for price to roll down, yeah, pretty much into it. So let's go down to the 4 hour. Not really much here to play with. Again, fair value gap to fill. There is a fair value gap down here in the discount. It'll be nice if it gets left open, because if we see fair value gaps left open in the discount, it makes it easier to anticipate reversals and such. But we'll talk more on that once we see that. Point of accumulation here, so that's another reason why this is where I'd want to see price make its final low and then potentially look into reversals or pullbacks. And then 1 hour, similar to dollar, behaving itself much more with finding weakness. It fails to take out these highs, unlike pound, sorry. And price is continuing to tread on lower. So moving into tomorrow, I want to see price roll over, tap down into this bullish order block from the daily again. We do have a fair value gap lined up perfectly with it, so there's a reason for price to go down there, as in there's imbalance to get filled for downside delivery. And then we will take a quick look at the 15 minute as well. And in terms of the highs, I want to see price trade, to be honest. Again, this consolidation. So what I'm looking at when I see these things, so look at the last up close candle, how we traded into it. Here, and here we tapped into it, and then price left. So now I'm looking again for the next order block or the breaker, the last down close. So I'm looking around here pretty much, and that gives us a range as to where the highest I'd want to see price trade is. And then we also have this coupled with this, which is a fair value gap. So ideally, price should find rejection at that level. If it bypasses it, then it will probably expand quite aggressively and start running back into itself. But I doubt that's going to happen. As you know, so long as dollar remains with its bias. But overall, I'm looking for price to. This will be the highest I'd want to see price trade tomorrow for me to remain comfortably bearish, especially with this consolidation. We will go to the 5 minute. And again, displacement quite nicely, and price has wandered on lower below these lows. So yeah, we might find rallying during the Asian session or during London to create the potential high, and then I'm looking for a potential reversal. So that's going to be everything, guys. I hope that all makes sense. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe. Join me over on Discord. All the links are in the description, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.